Hello guys, today I'm going to be drawing an orange cat. So I just started with the outline. I started with like an oval for that, and then I started sketching. I do have a reference photo, but I'm not going to show it because it didn't really end up looking like the reference photo. In this clip, I'm just drawing like the ears and like the body, I guess. I'm just doing the ears, going over it. This is basically just the rough sketch, so it's not going to be perfect. This is just going to be watercolor, so the sketch doesn't matter that much. Okay, now I'm moving on to working on the body and like sketching it out, you know, all that stuff. About here is when I start working on the legs. It's really more of a rough sketch. I go over them a little bit more later, but this is just the start rough sketch of the legs. Here I start working on the tail and like around there. The tail was really floofy. I go over it a little bit more later because it didn't quite match the reference photo. About now is when I start working on the paws. One of the paws doesn't really come out. The paws don't end up coming out that well. And I mean, I didn't really draw them that well in the first place, so they end up okay in the end, but not that great. This back paw, it doesn't really come out in the final part of the drawing. It just doesn't appear. I think I kind of forgot about it for a while, so it just didn't happen. The next clip is of a time lapse of me working on all the proportions of the cat. Here's about when I start working on the face. The face, it overall didn't really come out that well. I mean, the proportions were off at first. I had to fix it. You'll see in a second that I did actually have to fix it. The eyes were just too low down. And here you see me fixing the tail like earlier, and then I go on and I fix the eyes because they're way too low down. The eyes, as always, are kind of uneven. Like, that's just how it's going to be when you're drawing. I mean, I fix them a little bit more later. Here I add some more of the markings of the cat. A little bit more, you know, all that. Adding a little bit of shading. And then here I add more shading and, like, more markings, you know, just for future reference and all that. And then I fix up the legs and again, this is just me going over everything, like the whole body. I really tried with this, and then I fixed the cheek because it was like weirdly unproportionate. Also, I looked at I was being a little bit more observant right here, like making sure everything was on point. Here I start putting in a sunflower. I really thought it was just too boring because it was just a cat. And in the end, the sunflowers did really help. So in this clip, then it only showed me adding 2, but in the end there was a third. Here's me adding the stem, like the leaves, and then I move on to the next one. There's going to be another one like below this one, but this one, I think I struggled on this one quite a bit, so I'm not going to show you guys that part of me struggling. So here's the finished sketch. It's very fancy schmancy. Here's my watercolor paints. For this drawing, we are going to be using these colors because the orange would be way too bright. So here's my water pen, putting water in them. Here's the finished watercolor. I am going to add a colored pencil later. I just have to finish doing the sunflower first. Okay, now is the finished product with the colored pencil, with the rest of the watercolor, all of that. And here you go. It's very fancy schmancy. As I said, there's 3 sunflowers. The eyes used to look way worse, I will say that. Here's me signing the thing, putting the date, you know, and all that jazz. If you're from a different country, how do you do the date? Because, I don't really know how other countries do it. I know that other countries do it differently than USA, but Yeah, anyways, here's my custom signature. Let's just pretend that I didn't fail right here. Yeah, it kind of failed. We're just gonna pretend that didn't happen. Here's the finished product for everyone to see one last time. I hope you all enjoyed this video. I hope that all of you guys have the good rest of your day. Anyways, bye y'all. See you next time.